Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about an incredible fighter plane. One that does not immediately come to mind when we think about the great fighters of the Second World War, but one that certainly had an impressive record. Now when I say to you, what do you think of for fighter planes in the Second World War? We'll get the Messerschmitt 109, the Spitfire, the Zero, the P-51 Mustang. But the plane I want to talk to you about today is none of those. It is the Romanian fighter plane I.A.R 80 and I.A.R 81, or to pronounce it in the Romanian way, I.A.R. The first chapter refers to this as the most famous plane that you've never heard of. And depending on your knowledge of fighter planes, particularly in the Second World War, I had certainly no idea about this plane and that it existed. This plane was the Romanian premier fighter plane, the I.A.R 80, and then its dive bomber / multi-fighter role variant, the I.A.R 81. The I.A.R 80 has 539 confirmed kills in the air and was a potent aircraft that was used extensively by the Romanian Air Force. One of the reasons why this aircraft is being overlooked so much is that in the Soviet Union, information about this aircraft and its involvement in the Second World War was suppressed, and it's only been in the in the post-Soviet Union era that more information has come up. And indeed, this book has taken 20 years of research in order to be published. And boy, is this book detailed. There are only a handful of books that go into as much elemental detail about the technical elements of an aircraft, and this particular book is certainly in the top tier. But before I go into those, let me just wind back and talk about the book itself before we jump into all the nitty-gritty. So the book is laid out quite logically. You have the introduction, an overview, plus a historiography of the aircraft. We then go into its development, the prototype, and then the various chapters are divided up into the production variants and the minute, and I do mean the minute differences between each one. We then get a look at the trainer version and, intriguingly, what might have been the single inline version that was developed. It used the DB205 engine that apparently was quite popular, and many fighter planes actually used that engine. In addition to this, we then get separate chapters looking at the weaponry involved, the cockpit layouts, the actual structure of the aircraft itself. And this book is, if you are a modeler, then this book is all you need, because as you're seeing up here in the corner, it is so profusely illustrated. Each variant has 3-view plans with guides showing some of the differences. There are extensive color profiles showing camouflage schemes and variations between squadrons and pilots, and the different camouflages adopted throughout the various stages of the war. And this layout extends to each version. You then have even the layout of the wings and how it was changed depending on the armament that was used. There are various cockpit views, and they're all broken down and annotated. You could essentially, with this book, build yourself an I.A.R 80. That is how detailed it is. There's a funny comment in here. The book is also profusely illustrated with photos, and the author has commented, the author is Radu Briznan. He stated that it's unfortunate there are many photos of crashed aircraft in this book, but they are the ones that have survived, but also it's because the Romanian Air Force demanded that whenever there was an accident, it be extensively documented and researched so they could understand what went wrong. Thus, we have many photos of this interesting plane in unflattering poses. And when you look at it, it looks like a muscular plane and really like a fighter that means business. I mean, when I first saw this photo of this plane, I thought it could have been a distant cousin to the okay, let me try and pronounce this. It could have been a distant cousin to the LA9, Lavochkin 9, or even a more streamlined version of the long-nose FW190D. Anyway, I'm a fan of this book. Up here you can see the extensive illustrations documenting this plane, almost, rivet for rivet, frame by frame. The sheer detail is unparalleled, and certainly it stands on its own. Modelers will love it. People who are interested in World War II aviation will absolutely adore the detail, particularly the side profiles, the illustrations showing the planes in its various iterations, camouflage schemes. And in the mix of all this, there is plenty of information about the plane, about the pilots, and about the fortunes of the Romanian Air Force in the Second World War. So, without a doubt, this is one of the best books of its type, and it is a fitting tribute to this absolutely fascinating aircraft, more so that it is because it is not so well known. And if ever there is a technical tribute to a plane, then this book must certainly be it. And thus, it is a 5 captain's hats. So if you like World War II aviation, if you like your nuts and bolts technical histories of planes, then hunt this book down. It is incredible. The I.A.R 80, or the more English-friendly I.A.R 80 and 81 by Radu Briznan. So do check it out.